This video is made for new drone pilots, people who have just bought their new drones, or people planning to buy new drones. I will demonstrate step by step how to fly a drone for the first time. Especially if it's a DJI Mini 2 drone, this video is made specially for you, and if you haven't made your mind yet, then still you can watch this same video. In simple terms, this is a DJI Mini 2 quick start to fly your drone. In this video, I'll discuss different ways of flying, different methods of flying, and flying in different directions. Also, I'll discuss preparation before you start flying. For any drone owner, before you start flying, what do you need to think about and what do you need to put in place? First thing to think about or to prepare is the location where you're going to fly from. Make sure the place is open enough, you have enough space with less obstacles so that you don't lose your drone on the first flight. You don't want to lose your drone on the maiden flight. So preparation of the space, make sure it's big enough, there's enough space, less trees around, less buildings. Do not start your first flight inside a building. It is risky. Step 2, do a full inspection of the device. Make sure the drone is all inspected and all is well. The batteries, the memory card for storage, the camera, and the propellers are all in good condition. 2, check the controller. Make sure it's also fully charged. All the joysticks are there, so that you make sure you put them on so that you know that it's all good. Check the monitoring device. In this case, it may be a phone or an external monitor. Make sure it is fully charged, the display is all well, and everything's okay. Then let's move on to the next step. Step 3, connect the monitor to the controller and put it in place. After that, now it's time to switch on all the parts. Switch on the drone, switch on the monitor, and switch on the controller. Now everything is switched on and ready to fly. Now it's time to open the DJI Fly app. Assuming that's all installed and everything is set, once it opens up, click on Go Fly. Before you fly, it's very important to set the mode to C. If it's your first time, you're still a beginner, try to start with C. You don't want to start with the sport mode because it will be too fast. You may lose it if it's your first time. You may lose control and crash your drone. So set it to C before you start flying. It's number one and important. Now, before you fly, you've switched your mode to C. Check the permit to fly. Now that you've switched on everything, you have your mode in C, check on the app, the permit to fly. If everything is okay, the app will tell you, takeoff permitted. However, if anything is not right, there will be a warning in red or orange that you need to check. If it's a critical warning, it will be in red. If it's a minor warning, it will be in orange. You can tap on it and see what needs to be done. It will guide you, then you can do it. It could be a cap protecting the camera. If it's still on, it will tell you can move it. Maybe it's something to do with the GPS location. If you can't find it, it will tell you maybe you need to calibrate the compass or the GPS. That's something that you can do and get it clear to fly. Now let's start flying. There are 2 methods of flying and landing. Let's start with number 1, the automatic flying or launching and landing. Then we shall look at the manual launching and landing. Automatic. If you're starting to fly with the automatic flying mode, tap the takeoff icon on the left side of the app on the screen. Then a takeoff prompt window will appear on the screen with additional information, especially if there is any warnings or caution that you should take into consideration. If everything is okay or it's a minor caution, then hold on to the screen on the button until it loads to 100%. The drone will then take off up to a height of 2 meters from the ground or 1.2 meters from the ground. Lift off your finger and allow the drone to just hover for some time, maybe a minute or 2. Just leave it and then let's see how we can land it first with the application. Still using the app, tap onto the land icon on the left hand side a land prompt window will appear with additional information again. If there is any warning or caution, pay attention. If nothing is there, then, or if it's minor, then touch the window in the center of the window and then allow it to load to 100 and the drone will land into its current location. Lift the finger off once all the propellers stop. Then that is how we do the automated landing with the app. Let us now look at the manual flying or the manual launch. To fly manually with the controller, pull both joysticks inwards at the same time, inwards and downwards at the same time until the propeller starts. Once the propeller starts, then push the left hand side joy key upwards. That will allow the drone to take off. Once it gets up to about 2 meters as you're monitoring on the screen, stop. Take off your finger so that it can just stop and it will hover for some time. Allow it to hover for some time before we can land it again manually. To land the drone manually, just tap the land icon on the left hand side, because once it's up, the icon turns into land. So tap the land icon on the left hand side, then using the left hand side joystick, push it downwards, the drone will start moving down. And once the sensor activates the drone, it will reduce speed and land slowly. Once the propeller is stopped, then you have to take your finger off the joystick. Now it's time to talk about hand launching for a drone. This can be dangerous if you do it wrongly because it's too close to your face. If wind pushes it from behind, it will scratch you and it will hurt your eyes or your face. So make sure wind is coming from your back towards the drone if you're going to hand launch. Otherwise, it's better if there's no wind at all because you won't have much to worry about. And also you can stretch your hand so that's not too close to your face. Now, what you have to do, make sure one hand is holding the controller and the other hand is holding the drone. Then use your hand, your left or right hand, whichever is comfortable for you, to do an automatic launching, just as we described before. The only difference is you're holding it, which means your hand launching it, but just follow the same steps as we described in the automatic takeoff. Allow it to go up, maybe about 1.2 meters above the ground. Let it hover for some time, and now let's prepare to hand land. Hand landing, the precautions are the same. Make sure the wind is coming from behind you towards the drone. If it's coming from behind the drone, you risk getting injured. So, as long as you have one hand holding the drone, that hand should be free to be able to hand land it. You'll hold it once it's landing, but make sure your hand is free, then one hand can let it down. So in this, we shall do a manual landing. Just as we described before, tap the land icon on the screen and then use the manual landing. Once the sensors detect your hand, to reduce speed and allow you to hold it. Once you hold it, the propellers will stop and you can take your finger off the joystick. That is how we do hand landing. Now that you know how to launch the drone manually and then automatically, and then you also know how to hand launch and hand land, now the last thing is to try flying in different directions. How do you do this? Choose any way that is easier for you, any method of launching. Once it's up, then use the joystick to move around. I'll tell you how. First, the left hand side will help you to move up and down and also move in a circle. If you want to go up, after launching, push the left hand side joystick forward, it will go up. If you want to come down, push it backwards, it will come down. Then, if you want it to move around, to rotate around in clockwise direction, push it to the right. If you want it to move in the anti-clockwise direction, push the left hand side joystick to the left. On the right side, you have the right hand side joystick. If you want the drone to move forward, push the right hand side joystick forward. If you want it to move back, push the joystick on the right hand side backwards. If you want the drone to move to the left, push the right hand side joystick to the left. And if you want it to move to the right, push the right hand side joystick to the right. As simple as that. Practice as many times as you want before you ever go to any serious project. You need to practice and practice so that you get comfortable with this. We shall have another video on how the drone reacts to different commands in the different flight modes, that is C, N, and S. Thank you so much. That's all for this video. Wait for another video coming soon.